once you've got your intermediate trading journal open, just like with the beginner one, you want to go to File and make a copy, because this one is the template version. And as soon as you make a copy, the journal is yours. Okay, so you can notice here that the intermediate journal actually has a few more columns and also an extra tab called Extra Statistics. So this lesson is all about improving entries. So we're going to be talking about these three columns, the execution variables. And in the extra statistics, those three variables is going to populate over here. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about the exits, which are these three columns in trade management. And again, if you scroll down, the data populates here, everything to do with trade management. But yeah, for this lesson, we're just going to talk about the execution variables. Okay, so for every single trade that you take, we are going to measure how did price approach your entry level for every single trade. So did it slowly grind into the level? Did it do a fast vertical spike into the level? Or was it unclear or hard to read? Then we've got the volume. Was the volume increasing before your entry? Was it decreasing before the entry? Was it flat or unclear? And we've also got the duration of the regime. So how long of a regime were you working with on the left-hand side of the chart before your entry? Now, if you're unfamiliar with these three terms, not a problem, don't stress. Or if you just want to refresh on these, go to the educational resources section. And in here we have 2 trading strategy guides. They are very, very in-depth, very in-depth. Now, at the bottom section of both of these guides, actually, I can just open it. So let me scroll to the very bottom. Okay, here we go. So at the bottom section of both of these guides, we have a little cheat sheet here which explains the 3 variables, and also earlier up into the guide it explains the logic for why these 3 variables are important. So I won't go into them in this video because you can just read them in the PDF. But at the very bottom of both of the guides, I include a whole bunch of trade screenshot examples where you can see plenty of examples for how each of these 3 variables were defined. So here we have, in this example, long virtual, did price grind into the level? It's unclear. So in the trading journal, you would set unclear. Was the volume increasing? Yes, it was. So you would go and put increasing. And then what was the duration of the regime? This is like how long was the price action staircasing for on the left-hand side. So this one, okay, this is like 21 UTC here. This one is what, 18? It's like almost 24 hours. I'll set it as 8 to 24 hours of staircasing. But yeah, the strategy guides have a whole bunch of like really in-depth information about these 3 specific variables. If you're curious, like, why these 3 variables, it's because after reviewing more than 1,000 trade screenshots, I found that these 3 variables are the most common ones which kept appearing with impacting the win rate, both for momentum trades, so breakout trades, and also for mean reversion or reversal trades. These 3 happen to have the highest impact. Does this mean that these 3 variables are the holy grail? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that based on the data that I collected and based on the data that I have reviewed, to my knowledge so far, these are the top 3 things that I pay attention to. Okay, so for every single trade, we're going to do our best to classify every single one to the best of our ability. And this is going to be very useful because you can go over to the Extra Statistics tab and see for yourself how much of an impact these variables actually have on your win rates. And you can filter your extra statistics based on strategy and also based on time period. So, for example, let me clear this out. I'm only going to select momentum long. So what it's done here is it's automatically filtered out all of the trades which are only momentum longs, and it's giving me the statistics for my win rates for each of the variables. So we can see here, if price did a slow grind into the level, it only happened on 5 momentum trades, and the win rate of them was only 20%. And 3 momentum trades, it was unclear, and the win rate was 100%. In this section, we have a little pie chart which shows the distribution. So how many times did these variables appear for whatever strategies you have selected. So for example, here I've selected momentum long and momentum short. Most of the time, price did a slow grind into the level, and the fewest amount of times, price did a fast spike into the level. So this just helps visualize how often are you trading a momentum long based on whatever variable is present on the left-hand side of the chart. And then the bar chart or the column chart on the right, this shows you the win rate per variable. So the one with the highest win rate right now is unclear. So whenever it's unclear, it has a 100% win rate. Bang. When it has a fast spike, the win rate is 0, and it's very easy to see. So immediately, just with a glance of your eye, you can instantly tell that unclear, or the third variable, is the highest performing variable for this specific group of strategies. So it helps to emphasize that you should probably trade more when this variable is present, and you should probably trade less when this variable is present. Okay, and the same goes for the volume, and the same goes for duration of regime. So for this specific random example, decreasing and flat have the highest win rates. So the insight here is I should probably trade more when these variables are present, and I should probably trade less when increasing is present. However, I'll just quickly run through the examples. For your momentum trades, ideally you're trading momentum when price is doing a slow grind into the level. Ideally, you are avoiding momentum trades if price did a fast spike into the level. For volume, ideally for breakout trades, the volume is increasing, and for reversal trades, it's decreasing, because all of these are actually opposites to each other. So whatever is good for one style of strategy is bad for the other, and vice versa. So for momentum, this is good but this is bad for mean reversion. Fast spikes, bad for momentum, good for mean reversion. For the volume, increasing volume is great for momentum, but bad for mean reversion. Decreasing volume is good for mean reversion, but bad for momentum. Now, duration of regime, this isn't specific for momentum or mean reversion, but yeah, there's more information about duration of regime in the trading strategy guides. Okay, sweet. But yeah, the main point of this tab is for you to collect data and see the impact of these 3 variables on your win rates and adjust accordingly. The most practical way that you can use this is see for how many in your trades are you unable to clearly define the approach into the level. How often is it not clear for you? Is it hard for you to define how did price approach the level? And how is your win rate looking like on these unclear trades? Because when you define something as a slow grind, you're saying that yes, this is a very clean, very obvious type of slow grind. And the same for the fast spikes. When you call something a fast spike, it's because it looks on the chart very obvious as a fast spike. When something isn't really clear that it's a grind, or it's not really clear that it's a spike, it's kind of in the middle, or you're not feeling sure. In the times where it's not obvious is where you have basically the most amount of opportunity to make some kind of error, make some kind of wrong call in judgment. So I would say it's actually the trades where something is unclear, where these are the ones worth investigating. So for example, you might have a good win rate when you've got a slow grind. You might have a good win rate on your reversal trades when there is a fast spike, right? But let's say your win rate completely tanks when it's unclear. That would be a sign for you to go and investigate all of the trades where you have flagged as unclear and see, is there anything in here where you can be a little bit more strict with your entry criteria, right? that's basically the most practical way for how you can use this. We're trying to get clearer, or we're trying to get insights on how we are defining our good and bad trades, or just find patterns in the trades where we're not really sure for how to define the volume. And also just to see, it's also just good to see, or good to have the stats on all of these different variables, because who knows, maybe you find some additional insights.